It's Jose. The Minnesota Timberwolves are currently the number 1 seed and have been since November 19th, so a little over a month now, and they're showing no signs of slowing down. They're currently 23-7 after beating the Dallas Mavericks, but is this team actually a contender, or is this just a crazy insanity run for the Wolves? Well, first things first, I want to say that this team was expected to be good, but not this good. And being the best team in the Western Conference was by no means anybody's expectations going into the season. But the all-around team play and breakout superstar season that Anthony Edwards is having has led this team to the heights it's currently at. The best player by far for the Minnesota Timberwolves is Anthony Edwards, who is currently averaging 25 points per game with 5 rebounds and 5 assists, while shooting 45% from the field and 37% from 3. He's putting up all-star numbers along with a 44-point performance in his last game against the Dallas Mavericks at the time of this recording. Along with this superstar level play, the rest of the big three also seem to have found their footing. Let's start off with Rudy Gobert. After a pretty mediocre first season with the team last year, Rudy is starting to look like the old Defensive Player of the Year candidate, being the favorite to win it right now in this early part of the season. He's putting up a double-double with 12 points and 12 rebounds, while shooting 60% from the field and being a defensive anchor and elite shot blocker in the paint with a little over 2 blocks a game. On top of Rudy coming back into his defensive ways, Karl-Anthony Towns is looking more like himself after a rough start to the season. Cat is averaging 22 points and 9 rebounds per game, while shooting an impressive 41.4% from 3 off of 4.6 attempts, making him the best 3-point shooting center in the league right now. Along with the big three putting up these amazing numbers, role players like Naz Reid and Mike Conley have been holding their own and getting the team buckets when it matters the most. And the best part about this Wolves team is that it can get even better. Jaden McDaniels has finally returned from injury and is slowly coming into form and turning into that potential Defensive Player of the Year candidate that can guard any other team's best player on any given night. The Timberwolves have shown up and won against great teams this season like the Denver Nuggets, the Boston Celtics, the Oklahoma City Thunder, and the Philadelphia 76ers, just to name a few. Now, overall, I think they have what it takes to be one of the top dogs in the West, especially with the lackluster performances of a couple of teams like the Suns and Warriors so far. I don't expect this team to end the season as the number 1 seed or to even win the championship. But I also wouldn't be surprised if this team has a deep run where Anthony Edwards averages 40 points in the playoffs and the Wolves become a sort of dark horse title contender that may shock the world. On the other side of the spectrum, it's still pretty early on and other teams in the West are starting to pull it together. The other shock in the West being the Oklahoma City Thunder just recently beat the Timberwolves a couple of days ago with their impressive cast of Shai Gilgeous-Alexander, Chet Holmgren, and Jalen Williams, who are lighting up the league right now, and although are young and have zero playoff experience, they're still a tall task for any team to take on. Another team to look out for would be the LA Clippers, who have bounced back after they acquired James Harden earlier in the season and played horribly for the first month or so. They moved Russell Westbrook to the bench, and that has bolstered not only Russell's numbers, but has caused the ball movement to improve in the starting lineup, leading to the team winning 8 of their last 10 games. And of course, you have your usual Denver Nuggets because Nikola Jokic is one of the greatest players to ever live. Now, to wrap things up, I want to talk about how the Timberwolves have never really had this much success and have never really been in a position where they were considered contenders, except maybe the Kevin Garnett era, but that's a really big maybe. And Anthony Edwards has led this team to a potential height that has never been seen before in the lifespan of this team. Timberwolves fans should be proud of their team and what they've accomplished so far, and what they can accomplish throughout the rest of the season, because by the looks of it, they have no intention of slowing things down. Also, shout out to the big homie Ant, who was once a depressed Timberwolves fan and is finally experiencing what a good NBA team is like. I'm Jose Rojas, thanks for watching, and make sure to like, comment, and subscribe for more basketball content.